Hi everyone, and welcome back to Hearing Science for Music Producers. Today's topic is sound, frequency, and amplitude. Let's get right into it. I want to begin today's video by defining what is sound. Simply put, sound is the movement of molecules in space created by changes in pressure, or what is known as condensation and rarefaction. Think of the cones and drivers of a speaker system or studio monitors. These work in unison to produce waves of displaced molecules, resulting in what we interpret as sound. To detect these sound waves, these changes in pressure must travel through our human auditory system. First, our outer ear, which consists of our ear canal and pinna, what we generally call our ear. Next is our middle ear space, which consists of the tympanic membrane, our eardrum, and middle ear ossicles, or the middle ear bones. And finally, we have the inner ear, which contains our main sensory organ of hearing, the cochlea. Ultimately, the cochlea transmits sounds in the form of neural impulses to the brain. I want to focus in on the cochlea. This spiral shell-looking organ contains the hair cells that many of us think of when talking about hearing damage. These hair cells are located within the spiral bony shell of the cochlea and code for each frequency that we can hear as humans. This brings us to the topic of frequency. Frequency is how we measure the pitch of a sound, and it refers to the number of cycles of a wave per second, or hertz. Frequency can also be determined by period, or the time it takes to complete one cycle of the waveform. The following equation is used to determine frequency. Here we have a high frequency sine tone and one that's low frequency. Human hearing spans from 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz, but as we age, the ability to hear high frequencies, what gives clarity to both speech and music, often decreases. This is due to metabolic processes from aging, but can also largely be from loud noise exposure over time. So, make sure to protect your ears whenever you're in loud environments and preserve those higher frequencies. I mostly just wanted to put a cute picture of my dog here, but here are some examples of how frequency ranges are different between multiple species. Amplitude, as we will discuss it now, refers to the displacement of molecules, or the pressure produced by a sound wave from its resting state. Notice how the displacement of the wave goes both positively and negatively. This is condensation and rarefaction, and amplitude shows us how intense each of these movements are. Amplitude is often referred to as a measure of displacement or intensity when visualizing waveforms. However, it is also commonly used as a measure of loudness. A quick note about some of the graphs that we've seen and will be seeing in the next portion of the video. I've described sound using what are called time waveforms, where the displacement of a wave is measured over time. Next in this video, I will be referring to amplitude spectrums, where frequency is measured as a function of amplitude. Please remember to hit the like and subscribe button below, as this helps get this video to others who might be interested. Alright. Enough crash course, let's get into the box for a closer look at these concepts. Here we have FabFilter Pro Q3. This is basically an amplitude spectrum with the decibels on the right hand side over here on the y-axis and frequency being on the x-axis, represented by the keyboard. Pro Q3 is what is known as an equalizer in music production. This tool is often used to shape your sound by either taking away or adding amplitude to your frequencies. Here I'm going to use it as a visualizer to describe the human range of hearing. First, I'll mark where the 20 Hz site would be and the 20,000 Hz. These two dots represent approximately the frequency range of human hearing. Let's go ahead and hear the frequencies that are within this range using a single sine tone sweeping upwards in pitch. Please note that not all speaker systems will be able to produce the 20 to 20,000 hertz, but the visual aid should help you understand how these tones sound at their extremes. Let's go ahead and look at it again. You might notice your ability to hear higher pitched sound stops well before the 20,000 hertz mark. This is mostly due to our threshold of audibility, in the fact that extended high frequencies between 10,000 Hz and 20,000 Hz must be played at louder volumes for us to actually perceive them. More on this in a later video. It also may be due to loud noise exposure and aging. This gives you an idea of your own ability to hear those extended high frequencies. Lastly, I would like to give an example within modern music of how our frequency range of hearing affects our listening experience. By visualizing this song, we can see that all frequencies within our range of hearing are used. Now, what happens if we start to filter out some of those higher frequencies? This is one way to simulate the experience of a sensory neural high-frequency hearing loss, which is the most typical form of hearing loss. But please note that hearing loss comes in all different variations and severities, making no two hearing losses the same experience, even if they are the same type. That's all for now. Thanks for tuning in to Hearing Science for Music Producers. We'll catch you next time.